For people of colour, the shade of their skin can be a massive issue.
The colour of her skin defines her beauty, full stop.
It's resulted in a huge industry.
Some people might say, oh, she's so yellow, she's so fair, she's so beautiful.
With millions across the world trying to lighten their skin, the perception is the closer you are to whiteness, the closer you are to being seen as desirable and beautiful.
Colourism is discrimination or prejudice towards individuals of a darker skin tone, and typically from people from the same racial or ethnic group. In Western countries, it's seen as a lasting relic of slavery, where slave masters would give preferential treatment to lighter-skinned and mixed-race slaves, who were usually the product of the rape of darker-skinned women.
I love white. White is clean. White is pure. White is beautiful.
The skin lightening industry is predicted to be worth $23 billion by 2020. Some of the largest markets are in Southeast Asia, South Asia and Africa.
In Asia, the preference for light skin is linked to class as well as colonialism. But even before Western influence, it's thought that much of Asia's ruling elite were light-skinned, whilst the peasants working out in the fields were dark-skinned. The association between status and lightness, coupled with Western influence, continue to reverberate around the world today.
Although colorism is different from racism, it is influenced by it. And some feel it is an internalization of racist narratives that have led to colorism.
The lighter your complexion and the closer you are to the European pale skin colour, the more acceptable you are to Western consumers, Western audience and Western power brokers.
But the repercussions are far wider than just fashion and beauty products. Those with darker skin say that their skin tone can have an impact when trying to find partners.
A family is looking to get their daughter married or even look for a bride for their sons, nephews or whatever. The very first question is always, is she shundar, or sundar, this idea of her being beautiful being sort of the default, being attached to her being fair. No one is interested in her degrees or, how many languages she speaks or what she's done, what she's accomplished. No one cares.
But can't someone just have a preference for lighter skin?
Well, it's not your preference. It's been a socially constructed beauty reality made for you by your Auntie G's, your mother, and all the other women in your life. They've grown up their whole lives with a Hindi film, Hindi-speaking film industry, known as Bollywood, where they're only exposed to fair-skinned women.
While there is widespread awareness regarding racism in all its forms, colorism persists with little opposition. Can such ingrained and inherent discrimination ever be rooted out? Because even without Western influence, colorism will still exist.